There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Purposeful Woman Podcast. I am excited because I have a special guest, Kendra Nicole. She is a CPT Master Motivator and owner of Sweat and Smile Fitness. She's been into wellness her entire life, and she owns her own personal ups and downs. And after facing one of the most emotional breakdowns in her life to date, she began to seek her purpose and asked, and God answered. As of March 2021, she's been able to masterfully motivate and empower women to embrace themselves no matter what shape or size. This is her passion and God given purpose that she's grateful and blessed to have. And Kendra, I am so grateful to have you on this podcast episode.
Thank you.
See my little nerdy
Thank you for
clap?
having me. I appreciate that. That was nice. Aw.
Thank you. So
I've been here, but no, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I am glad you were able to join me today. And ladies and any gents who may be listening in,
I can't hear the question.
I took your class this morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I took Kendra's class this morning. And let me say, I was smiling, but I was definitely sweating through it. Okay.
That's what I love to hear. Like I hear that like, oh yeah, I was smiling. You're funny, but I was sweating.
Yes. And I loved it. We did weights, we did cardio, we did some stretching. So it just hit every area. And so as far as how many classes do you typically do a week?
I do Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So it's 3 classes. I offer a morning and an afternoon, and I'm going to offer 2 more afternoons as of next week. So a new flyer will be coming out with that. So I'm excited. I'll be having a 6:30 class and a 7:30. So
You're better than me. I would probably pass out trying to do all those classes.
It is, but I love working out though. I do. I love challenging my body. I take breaks. Don't get me wrong. I'm like, wait, if you need a break, take you a good break. Because listen to your body. Listen to your body. Your body will tell you when you need to pause, when you need to, okay, pick it back up. And then I will modify it as well. So, and then throughout the classes, sometimes when I pause and I'm looking to make sure like the form is correct, that's me taking a break too. Like I'm like, okay, let me build my energy back up as well. But it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the class. It
Good. I'm glad
challenging, but it didn't kill me. You know what I mean? It was I got my workout that I needed in.
Thank you. That's so nice. I appreciate that.
So when it comes to the name Sweat and Smile, what made you decide to go with that name for your program?
It was actually one of the P2P sisters, Mylene. It was so cute one day because I smile a lot in my videos. I smile a lot, period. Like I just
You do.
It's because I don't know why. Like I'm a happy person. So I'm like, oh, okay. I want others to feel that happiness. And when I'm working out, I'm looking at myself in the video. I'm like, girl, and this is in the beginning. I was like, my form, I knew then my form was so off, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna push through. And then one day, Eileen was like, oh, look at you. She was like, you just sweating and smiling. I was like, I like that. Let me go with that. That's a good name. And it just grew from there. And here it is. So I definitely give all of that to her. I thank her for that. Yes.
We want sweat and smile, not scowl, not scowl fitness, right?
I
Yeah,
definitely will call you out. I'm like, wait, I don't see you smiling because like enjoy it because it's a good thing. You are challenging your body. You are doing something to add more days to your life. That's
I
a good reason to smile.
I agree, especially as a, oh, I think I
So
froze for a minute.
yeah, yeah, it did.
Especially for me, I'm 40 something. I'm not going to give the rest of my age, but I'm
You look
40
great.
something. So it doesn't take long to, for just a few days, a few weeks off to have an impact on the body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get back into the routine, but I would say your workout was definitely a good way to get started.
I appreciate that. I hope you come back for more.
Yeah, and I'm typically a workout lone ranger,
Okay.
but I typically don't like a class format. I'll be honest with you, but the way that yours was done, I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Really. I do.
Now, as women, we are bombarded with images of how we're supposed to look, act, dress, and it can really cause women to have unhealthy body image. Did you ever struggle with
Mhm.
any body image issues growing up or just in general?
Yes, I did. Growing up, I was in my own head. I had family tell me, oh, don't eat this, you gaining weight. Or I've even had family members tell me, oh, I can't even look at you. Your face is too round, like you gained, this weight. I definitely went through challenges. It was even in college, I was like, oh, okay, I don't look like this girl, and why don't I look like that girl? So I definitely compared myself to um, people in magazines, videos. Like it was when I was younger. So I'm about to tell my whole age. It was on BET. It was on BET Uncut, and they used to like play these videos, and I would like watch like the videos. And I would be like, "Man, okay, maybe I need to look like this girl." Like maybe, and I would have these body images of how I thought I was supposed to look, or I even got told, "Oh, well, you're cute for a dark skinned girl." So it was
That.
all yes, all kind of things. But the older I got, and honestly, my mother prayed over me. My mama always said she prayed over me to love myself as how I am and just to get that perception out of my head. And I really feel and felt her prayers like to change that. And it takes time. It does. Like you're like, okay, hey, well, today I'm not feeling my best. I don't want to take a picture today. So I think we all go through that just as women, but I definitely had that growing up. I believe I truly stepped out of that when I was like 26. So that was not too long ago. That was like less than 10 years ago. Like seriously. So
And
it's
it really does take time to learn to love yourself, all of yourself.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and I know I had my issues. Okay, I didn't look this way. My skin tone wasn't this. I wasn't the typical what you see on TV.
mm-hmm.
And magazines were the worst. And then one day during my, I don't know, I realized when I saw all the touched up pictures, I'm like, well, they don't even look like what I thought they looked like.
Exactly.
From
Yes.
film
Yes.
to video, I mean, we were all chasing something that wasn't even realistic or isn't, because now
Mm-hmm,
it's still not realistic. But I just
mm-hmm.
think it's
It's
dangerous.
gotten worse.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the little girls who are digesting this or they're on social media a lot taking all of this in because heck, how many filtered pictures do we see on social
And
media?
that's one of my reasons why. That's one of the reasons why, because if I had someone outside of my mom, because you always like, okay, yeah, it's just your mom, you're supposed to say that. Like, You're supposed to say that. You're supposed
Right.
to say I'm pretty.
Yeah.
But I want to be that reason for that little girl that's like, oh, well, she looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to look like this person. I can be comfortable whatever skin I'm in. So that's why I always put on my pictures, anything for my Instagram, like I am evolving mentally and physically, no matter what shape or size. Like, because I want that to be just dead in someone's head. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna change every day. I'm getting comfortable on who I am. Like that little girl to look at, oh, okay, look at her, look at me. Like I look like that. Like, or the teenager, oh, I look like that. Or the woman now, like at my age now, like, okay, I'm not the average trainer. I don't look like the average trainer. And I love that.
But it doesn't
I
matter
absolutely
because you
love that.
still give a great workout. And you like you could, it doesn't matter. You could be a size 0 and still not be in
Mm-hmm.
shape, still not be able
Mm-hmm.
to run, still not be able to lift a weight. So,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of size, it is that what type of shape is that person in? How are they
Right.
health wise?
Right.
Because unhealthy comes in all shapes and sizes.
It does. It definitely does. I agree.
Yeah. Now, what made you decide to dive into the fitness industry?
Um, I've always been into that throughout life. Like I have done yo-yo diets. I have done, oh, okay, I'm not gonna eat until 10 o'clock, or I'm not gonna eat all day, like crazy, unrealistic things. But I've always been okay, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk today. I'm going to lift up weights, especially in my 20s. I'm like, oh, okay. It became like a life thing. And then honestly, I had my, like I said, unhealthy moments. But that's just been something that has been a part of me. And I remember I worked for the state of Georgia, and they have a gym in the building. And one of my friends, she was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna come work out with you. I'm like, okay. So we're working out. She was like, you should really be a trainer. You're really good at this. I was like, girl, bye. Like, let's just go. Let's just keep working out. And so I've heard that a lot. Like I heard that and I was just like, well, okay, stop playing. Like that's my thing. Okay, stop playing. Like you hear it and people see things in you that you don't see at first. That you're
Right.
like, you get that like imposter syndrome where you talk yourself out of whatever it is that you know that's really what you are passionate about. That's your gift. That's the way you can get that. And I had a really bad breakup. I had a it was one of the worst things that ever happened to me thus far. I know it may get crazy in life, it's life, but that was one of those things. And I really just prayed to God. I was like, okay, I need to find me. What is it that you are wanting me to do? What is it that I need that fulfillment? I don't want it to be fulfilled in another relationship. I want it to be fulfilled in just my purpose and me. I just want happiness all the way around. And I started walking around the neighborhood and I was like, okay, let me go. And it just hit me. It was like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Because then I started talking to other women in the gym, and I met this great friend of mine. She was going through a divorce. You would not have even known that, but she was like so broken. And she was like, I just don't want to feel this way. And I'm like, I am not alone feeling like this. There are other women. And I started talking to other women. They were feeling the exact same way. They had some traumatic experience happen where they felt like they had to change the way they look to feel comfortable in their relationship. And it was just other factors. And I was like, okay, this is a thing. And I need to like pull these women up out of this because this is a real thing. Like, no. And then I prayed to God about it. And it was like, I literally heard him say, okay, yeah, what are you waiting on? Because this is it. And I'm walking in it. Do I know what I'm doing? No. God is guiding me every day.
Like a
And it's
day,
like,
day by day.
okay. Yes, yes. So it's amazing. That's how I'm here. And I'm gonna be here. This is it. I love I really do.
You were sounding low, right?
Oh, I said I love what I do.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
truly, I really love it. Like this is
And
what he's called me to do.
one thing that I love is when you just said that you had to learn to love, find something just for you outside of your relationship, because
Mhm.
I've seen it over and over again, and I've been guilty of it myself, where we as women, we give, and sometimes we overdo it, and we give
Mhm.
too much of ourselves, and we put our interests to the side, we put our needs to the side, and everything just revolves around that relationship. But the thought is, what happens when the relationship ends? And not every relationship is going to end in divorce. Not every relationship
Mhm.
is going to end in breakup. It could be, as we've seen in our P2P group, somebody could just become a widow. So, what happens when that relationship is over? Who are you outside of it? What
Right.
do you like outside of it? What are your interests outside of it? And so, it's just important for us as women to keep those outside interests and connections, and to build something outside of our immediate relationship circle. It doesn't make you selfish at all. It makes you
Right.
smart. Makes you smart, in my
Right.
opinion.
It does. It does. And I had to learn that. Like I seriously had to learn that. And like I said, I noticed that other women need to learn that as well. And it doesn't matter what age, because it becomes, we are, like, as you said, we take care of so much. We do so much that it easily happens. And I honestly, I was not that girl before. Like, okay, as you say, selfish, but it's okay to be there. But I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna be that girl in that relationship. And I became that girl. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
okay, like I lost myself, and it happens, and it's like, okay, but it's nothing wrong with that, but you just have to find that balance. Like 30 minutes a day, that's all the workouts are. 30 minutes a day, just find you, if it's not even working out, reading a book, just painting, poetry, something, just to have you. Like we need that. Everybody needs that. You just
yeah.
really need that fulfillment. So
But
yeah,
it's funny,
I
workouts. Sometimes I say, "Oh, I don't want to do it," but I feel so much better after.
that you do. I have my moments like that too. I'm like, okay, I'm tired today, but I mean, I'm human. We all get tired. You can get a drained mental day from work, but it's become such a lifestyle where I'm like, all right, as soon as I get started, okay, like it can take me sometimes 20 minutes to pump myself up when I'm working out just alone. I'm like, all right, then I put on some good music. I'm like, oh, okay, then next thing I know, I'm in here sweating it out. I'm like, oh, then I'm like, I'm just gonna do 30 minutes. And I look up, it's like 45 minutes. I'm in. I'm like, okay, girl, just stop. You're good. So I just,
Music helps. Music
yes,
definitely helps
yes,
the
yes.
motivation. I have to have like this certain beat to
Mm-hmm.
keep me going.
Mm-hmm.
Music can't be too fast. It can't be too slow. It's just got to be just right.
Yes, yes.
Now, one thing that I know we've all had our issues with, and it's fear and limiting beliefs. And sometimes they try to rear their ugly heads when it comes to something new, or just doing something out the ordinary. Did you have any moments when you struggled with fear or limiting beliefs?
Yeah, I did. And honestly, it was before I got into P2P because I was like, okay, I'm gonna work out. I know I want to be in the fitness business, but who's gonna listen to me? Because I was like, okay, at that time I wasn't certified. I'm like, okay, and which way am I gonna go with this? Am I enough? And it's funny because I listened to your recent podcast where you don't have to settle, and you said exactly like that. Okay, you have that fear of, are you enough? You know, the failure of it. And I'm like, that, oh my gosh, that was me. Like, definitely. So I had those moments joining P2P and gaining that confidence. I'm like, okay, I can do this no matter what. But I definitely had to let that go. I was still, as of recently, working on the fear of failure. And I read a book that it's called Fail Fast, Fail Often,
Oh,
about you learn
right
from
now.
your failures. You learn from your failures. Just because you fail, that doesn't mean it truly is a failure. It's okay, what have you learned from that? For that one failure, what, name 3 positives, the 3-to-1 ratio. So I take that into that. So I definitely struggled with that. I'm learning. I talk myself into things now. Okay, what can you learn from this versus talking myself out of that? Okay, you're coming up with new times. What can you gain from this? Like each step with my business now, I'm like, okay, what's the positive of this? Because I can quickly get in my head because I'm an overthinker. I think so much. I'm like, it has to be this way. And I'm like, you know what, girl? Keep in mind, sloppy progress is still some progress. You still out here doing something. So yes, that limited belief definitely was there. It pops up, but as soon as I feel it popping up, I have been equipped with so many tools to recognize it quickly and work around it, to
Right.
know, okay, release that control, because those limits and beliefs come up and I'm like, all right, Kendra, get your whole life, get your life together, girl. Get it together, you got this.
Because I mean, I know I feel the limiting beliefs um, and I guess it's something that you really, you know they're there, but it really takes somebody pointing them out to write them down like we did in P2P. And for everybody
Mm-hmm.
that's listening who does not know what P2P is, that we keep mentioning, it is Purpose to Platform. It's a program offered by Patrice Washington. So when I say P2P, or when she says P2P, that is what we're talking about. But I love it how when during that program, she did have us write out what our limiting beliefs were, because sometimes they might be floating around. We don't even think about what they are.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So
Yeah.
that was definitely something that helped me. And it sounds like it helped you tremendously.
Yes. 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 It did. It still does.
Yeah.
It does.
So what would you tell a woman that wants to start a fitness regimen, but she doesn't know where to begin?
I get that question a lot. I do, and each time I answer it differently because it really depends. Recently, I had someone say, "Well, I don't know what to do," and I'm like, "Okay, let's just walk. You can start with the walk. If it's 5 minutes a day on your lunch break, or just if you have a job where you're sitting down, just stand for a minute a day. Just stand up for a minute a day before you're like, oh, okay, this minute is going by fast. And reach out to me. I'm here to help you. Like, reach out to me. I get Instagram messages often, like, okay, what can I do for this? And I'm like, okay, let's try this. Like, I'm here for that. So any woman that doesn't know what to do a small obtainable goal, something that is not too difficult. Like some people say, oh, well, I'm gonna meal prep, which is good. I'm gonna just go hard, but then they dive in so quickly, and then they wonder why they go back on that merry-go-round again. I'm like, you gotta start small, and it's okay. It's okay. Start really small. Just small changes add up to bigger things. You're like, oh, my 5 minutes are up. Okay, I can push out at 10 today. I can go walk another time around the track. So just things that are obtainable, not too much stress, not too much hooray about it, just because it's difficult to start. It really is. It is mentally a mind thing. Like you have to switch your mind on, okay, like I say, let me just do 5 minutes today on the track. Change your mind, everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. So
Because I know it is a mind battle. Because that couch is comfortable.
you said that. Yes, you said that. Like when you said that in your podcast, I was like, girl, it sure is. Like I was talking to you in the podcast. You can sit on that couch, but there's no growth in comfort. It isn't. There's no growth. You're not stimulating yourself. So you have to change the mind for everything. You have to talk to yourself like you talking to your best friend. This is your vessel. You only get one of these. So you need to speak life into yourself, change your mind, pray about it. Like, okay, God, give me that motivation. Like, okay, God, help make my mind stronger. Like my great aunt, she's always said this, God, thank you for a peace of mind. And I'm like, why does she always say that? Like growing up, I was like, what's that even mean? Now as I've gotten older, I understand that. Like, thank you for my mindset. Thank you for strengthening me, because the mind is so delicate. It switches so quickly. And once this is tainted, everything else kind of like falls apart, in my opinion. So yeah, just small goals and change the way you view working out. And that's why I'm here, to change how women view working out.
Yeah.
It's
I love it. I love your mindset. I love your viewpoint. And I just love how you're just telling women just one day at a time. Don't try to do the impossible in one day, just one step at a time, even if it's going for a walk, because walking's exercise too.
It is. It's the best form of cardio. It's less on your joints, especially when you're starting out. You don't want to do too much, because then that's when you get an injury and you're like, oh, I'm super sore. I don't want to do it anymore. You can find so many reasons why not to, but walking is very impactful, but it's less impact on the body.
Yeah.
Like harsh impact. So you can still get a good cardio, all of that. I enjoy it.
And when it comes to purpose, to your life's purpose, or just purpose, women following their purpose, what would you tell a woman who is struggling? Should she go in that direction? Should she pursue the purpose that God has placed on her heart? Maybe she's scared. Maybe she's worried about what people are going to say. What would you tell that woman that is questioning, should she go forward with pursuing her purpose?
What would God say to you when you see him and you meet him? You want to know that you fulfilled, and he's going to say, okay, you did well. You want to hear those words. So what matters more, what God is going to say, or what your own mind is saying, or the people around you are saying? What voice counts more? And that's something I have to tell myself. What voice counts more? What do you want to hear when that day comes? Because that day is definitely going to come. And when he sees me, I need him to be like, okay, you served. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want that fulfillment. So every woman should want that fulfillment from God. That's what I say. Follow it.
And that is 100%. I agree with that 100%. When we stand before God, we do have to answer for how we spent our time here. And when we're here, we feel like, living this life, sometimes we feel like it could go on forever. But I do believe that we are each here with our assignment. Now it's up to us if we follow that assignment, if we're obedient, or if we choose to say, well, God, I really don't care, and I'm just going to do it my own way. But no matter what we decide, we still have to answer for whatever our decisions are. He's, I can't remember who said it, but God is a perfect gentleman. He will never force you to do anything you don't want to do. he's a perfect gentleman.
Right.
So it's up
Right.
to us. But I think it would be a sad day for someone to leave this world knowing that they didn't fulfill what they were put on this earth to do. And I don't know who said it first, but I'm sure you probably heard it. The richest place on earth is the graveyard, because that's where all the gifts, all the talents, all the abilities that people did not use, that's where a lot of it ends up, in the graveyard, because they didn't use it on this earth. They literally took their gifts,
Right.
talents, did
And
it.
that's sad. That's so sad. It's sad to know that, because I run into so many people who are so talented, and now I see what my friends were seeing in me, like, okay, Kendra, this is you. And now I recognize that in others, and I'm like, okay, that's another purpose for me, to help you just at least tap into it. Like, okay, so what are we doing today? What's our goal today? I have a friend I check on every day. Okay, what's the goal for the week? What's up? What we doing? So you want to, even if people are like, oh, well, I don't know anything, it's just it's something small. Small is still big. That's still a step. That's still a step before God. Who knows? Your small thing may get someone to do a bigger thing. You just don't know. So walk in that. Step into it. Take up all of the space that's there in front of you. Take it all up. It's enough space in this world to take it up and spread it so somebody else can take up the next part of the space. So
Yeah, we're here
yeah.
for the one, whatever that one person is.
Right.
There's one person that needs to hear what we have to say, or um, and sometimes we get caught up in, oh, well, I have to have this big old audience, and we just forget sometimes God just wants us to speak something for one person and do something that
Right.
will help one person. So we just have to concentrate on the one.
That's the one thing too. Like another thing I keep in mind. An audience of one is still an audience. From P2P, I'm like, you know what? That is so right. If it's just one like, it's still just somebody. If it's just one view, it's still someone. So and that, yeah, it's that one soul.
So last question for you is, how can people connect with you? What's the best way for people to contact you to get information about your fitness program, or to sign up for your courses? What's the best way for them to reach you?
The best way is through direct message, aka DMs. Slide into my DMs, y'all. Slide into them on Instagram, and that will be at Think Thick, which is no K, it's just two C's, fitness. So it's ThinkThicc fitness. Or you can follow me on Facebook at Kendra Wyatt. Yeah, just reach out to me. I will get you all the information. I will email it to you. I will send it to you. I will check up on you. Just, I'm here. That's the best way. Instagram. I love Instagram. My friend.
I prefer, I actually started off liking Facebook better, but now I do prefer Instagram. So
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
put your information up in the show notes so that people will know how to get in contact with you. But I thank you so much for just taking time out your day to chat with me.
Thank you
And
for having me. I
I
appreciate
hope,
it. It's been a pleasure.
yes, I'll be praying that your business blow up, and I'm gonna promote you as best I
Thank you.
can. And your workout was very good, and so keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that. I receive all of that. Thank you. It has been a pleasure. And watching your form is amazing. Like you were like killing it today. I was like, okay, yeah, check you out. I get so excited. Like that excites me. So it was great to just watch you. Like it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed you. So you've been like spending Saturday with me. I enjoy that.
I know. So you're probably like, okay, enough of her, but
No, no. It is amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And the next time you're in my area, we're gonna have to get together. We could do a
Yes,
walk somewhere.
ma'am. I know. Go to the park. I'm for it.
Yep. Yep. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.